Yes, if you're an entrepreneur, you're aging faster. And it comes down to three main things that I'm going to help you solve in this video. Now, for a little bit of context, I've helped hundreds of founders and executives fix their health through data driven, customized protocols so they can actually operate at their peak capacity every day. So let's get straight to it. The first thing that it comes down to is your sleep. You see, you probably have a routine that is all over the place, and this is as a result of you being able to control your schedule. You don't have a boss, you don't have anyone to hold you to your standards every day, let's say. So you select the time that you go to bed, you select the time that you work, you select the time that you do anything in your day. And a lot of times, the biggest downside of this is the fact that you're sometimes you feel productive in the morning, sometimes you feel productive in the afternoon, sometimes in the evening, which makes you go to bed late and stay up late all night working. Sleep is the main process that happens in the day, or rather in the night, that actually controls your aging. It takes about 4 consecutive nights of sleeping less than 6 hours to classify your blood levels of glucose as a pre-diabetic. So, which means sleep less than 6 hours for about 4 days straight, and you're going to do a blood work. If you go to the doctor and do a blood work, they're going to think you're like a really unhealthy pre-diabetes level. This is how bad it is. The other problem is that when you go to bed and when you sleep, there is a system in your brain that is responsible for clearing out toxins, more in particular toxic proteins and byproducts that cause you to have or that are linked and cause neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and any kind of like dementia, all those things. Those toxic proteins and byproducts are accumulated as you use your brain throughout the day. Okay? And it's a normal thing. And it's also a normal thing for your brain to undergo this process while you're sleeping to actually clear it out. The trick is that it only happens in deep sleep, which is a specific part of your sleep, a specific phase of your sleep that happens in the first kind of like 2 to 4 hours at the start of your sleep. And another key point is that it only happens if you are fasted during deep sleep. So it's a little bit complicated, right? So it's very tricky for you to activate that sewage system in your brain because you're probably eating your last meal right before you go to bed. And your timing of the time that you go to bed varies almost every day. So when you shift your sleep routine every day, something called your circadian clock is like jet lagged all the time. And when that's the case, your body can't really structure the sleep stages properly because you're getting a random sleep. You're activating sleep mode at random every day, and your body loves routines. Your body loves structure. So if you follow a specific routine for about 2 to 4 days, your body will start optimizing your hormone production and the chemicals that make you sleep well at night, perform well in the morning around those times. But if you're alternating and if you're changing that schedule every day or every other day, you're like in permanent jet lag. It's called the social jet lag, actually. And this is actually, if you're not recovering properly, if you're not getting enough deep sleep, you're going to end up with higher levels of cortisol in your blood. Deep sleep is the main part of sleep responsible for clearing out cortisol in your system. And when cortisol is high, because you're like stressed out, you're like solving a lot of problems every day, and a natural thing in the life of business or entrepreneurship is that you have a lot of stress. This is more important than ever for you to get enough deep sleep. But the problem is that when your sleep schedule changes every day, as I said before, the amount of deep sleep that you're going to be able to get is not consistent, is not going to be enough. You can measure this with something like an Oura ring or a Whoop band, and you're going to pretty soon find out that your sleep quality, and more specifically your deep and REM sleep quality, is not all that good. This means that your cortisol levels are higher, which is extremely dangerous for your heart health overall, long term specifically. Cortisol levels and high cortisol in particular, chronically elevated cortisol levels are devastating to your heart health. This is why when somebody is very prone to heart attacks and strokes, the doctor tells them be in a very calm environment, do not stress out. It's because cortisol, high cortisol, is what's caused that, or one of the variables that's caused that, and it's actually one of the things that can tip the thing over the edge and cause a big problem, a life-threatening issue. And chronically elevated cortisol levels just age you faster. But the recipe to clear out excess cortisol is get enough deep sleep. And how do you get enough deep sleep? By going to bed and waking up at the same time. That's step one. Step two is before bed, you need to calm your nervous system down. You need to ensure you have a clear cutoff from work around 2 hours before bed. And around 2 to 3 hours before bed, you actually optimize your lighting and you eliminate all bright lights. And you just, if you have blue light blockers, you can wear them at that time, not in the morning or at random times of the day, as I've seen a lot of founders do, just because they think it's a trend. It doesn't work like that. Just wear them 2 to 3 hours before bed, and that's what they're supposed to do. And one of the most important things is to fast, to do reverse intermittent fasting, which means instead of fasting and being obsessed about fasting for the beginning of the day, flip that script and fast for the end of the day. So around anywhere from the last 3 to even 6 hours of the day, just be completely fasted. And it's completely okay if you go to bed and you're almost a little bit hungry, because that's when you know you're going to get really good sleep quality, and especially deep sleep. You can test it out for yourself. The next couple of days, try limiting or try stopping your meals, having your last meal of the day at around 3 or 6 hours before bed. If you're having big meals, be closer to that higher end of the spectrum, so 5 or 6 hours before bed. And it's going to be a game changer for your sleep. And more importantly, you're going to be able to activate that thing that I just talked about with the toxin clearance system, which is called the glymphatic system, which is going to allow you to stop aging faster. Less cortisol, less toxic byproducts in your brain, like beta amyloid and tau proteins that cause you to have neurodegenerative diseases later in the future. So that's the variable number one, which is sleep. Variable number two is your diet. For the majority of the day, if you're really busy and if you're into the trenches scaling something, that means that you're trying to optimize your day to work as much as possible and to spend as much of your time as possible in moving the needle forward, which means you're probably ordering takeout, you're probably ordering Uber Eats, and you're eating whatever's readily available. This is bad for a variety of different reasons. Number one, you're eating things that are probably very processed, that are very high in in preservatives and sweeteners and a lot of chemicals that disrupt your digestive system. Sorry about my stuttering. And the other problem is that you're the composition of the calories, it's very calorie dense foods, ultra processed calorie dense foods that actually contribute to this third problem that I'm going to talk about, the third variable. But long story short, you're eating junk, you're labeling it clean because you maybe ate some chicken with some rice, and you think that you're doing a good job with your diet, when in reality, you're just adding more and more inflammation. And the key variable behind this, why your diet, why doing those things is bad, is because of something called your gut. You probably know your intestines, your gut, and you've probably heard that your gut is your second brain. It's it's a nervous system on its own. You have your nervous system, your autonomous nervous system, and the gut is called the enteric nervous system. It actually is so important for how you feel and how your longevity, because around 80% of your immune system is inside of your gut, and you have like 60% of your dopamine produced inside your gut, 90% of your serotonin produced inside your gut, and you have hundreds and hundreds of neurochemicals that directly influence your immune system, your mood, your motivation, your energy, your focus, all those things by your gut. And when you're eating ultra processed junk, when you're eating things that have a lot of preservatives inside them and a million different ingredients and a lot of sugar, then you're causing inflammation. So whenever you feel foggy and tired after you eat something, whenever you feel like you're inflamed and puffy and you're like you have a lot of gas and you have indigestion, all those things are signs, or even skin breakouts, and you get sick often. All of those things are signs that you have a poor gut health. Your gut health is all over the place. The way you fix this is by, first and foremost, simplifying your diet. I know it's easy to say, but what you can do if you're making enough money, I'm not saying like you need to be like making 8 figures a month. I'm saying like if you can afford like a meal prep service that is going to allow you to select what you eat, or even now you can use something like Claude Code to automate the process of selecting your meals and kind of like ordering them on autopilot. You can still not spend time cooking and prepping food while eating clean meals. And on top of that, if you have the extra means to do that, you can even hire a private chef. I mean, we typically do that with our clients to help them streamline their diet so that they're eating exactly what their body needs to be consuming, and they spend zero time in the kitchen. You can even hire a private chef. You can give them a manual of exactly what you need to be eating every day, and you have your meals ready to go, and you spend zero time on your cooking and cleaning and prepping, and you just execute. But the thing is that you also need to make sure that you're eating the right things that your body needs, because everyone's biology is different. I have certain deficiencies that I need to cover for my diet, and I have specific things that my gut is not able to digest really well. And to do that, you need to have testing in place. You need to do a comprehensive blood panel, a gut microbiome panel, and a DNA test, because those things are going to tell you exactly the foods that you should be eating, exactly the supplements that you should be eating, and you're going to be able to identify the exact foods and supplements to take, and through that, you're going to be able to then give that to your private chef or give that to the meal prep service to personalize your diet for peak output, essentially. You're going to be giving your brain exactly what it needs. You're going to be covering the foods for your testosterone levels, for your cortisol levels, for your metabolic health, and your calories based on your metabolic health, so that you're operating at your peak capacity. And the third variable is training. As entrepreneurs, if you're working from your office or from your home for the majority of the day, that means chances are that you are living a sedentary life for the most part. And you don't have enough time to train. You don't have a lot of time to go to the gym and exercise for a couple hours a day. So that's completely understandable. So what can you do here? Because exercise is one of those things that is one of the strongest performance enhancers. And I'm not talking about bodybuilding kind of workouts where you go to the gym and you spend a lot of time and energy and you stress your nervous system, and then you come back home and you're fried and you can't think straight. This is a different kind of story. I'm talking about training as a mental performance enhancing tool. You don't have to train 2-hour-long sessions or do like powerlifting sessions. Even a 20-minute run or jog or skipping rope session or like a boxing session, whatever it may be in the morning, is going to be such a game changer for your productivity after you finish it, because it boosts a concoction. It creates a chemical cocktail in your bloodstream and in your brain that improves your processing speed, your memory, your mood, and your longevity. And exercising is one of the most important things that will improve all the states of your health, all of your different biomarkers, without changing anything about what you eat. It's the single thing that if you do, it will improve all the aspects of your health without even changing any other variable. So you can literally skip the first two steps, which, by the way, you should not do, and just train. And your health is going to improve in a multitude of different ways without you having to change anything else. This is how powerful training is. Now, I just told you that you shouldn't train weights for a couple hours and you should just do like a jump rope session. That's a good start, in particular for your morning routine. It's a really good implementation I give to a lot of my clients that helps them improve their productivity and focus. But also on top of that, strength training and weight training is crucial for longevity. Having enough muscle and improving your bone density through weight training is incredibly important for your longevity, because the amount of muscle mass you have is directly connected with how long you're going to live, and also your cardio. If you have good cardio, that's another really good correlation with how long you're going to live. And if you're working behind the computer all day, you're seated for like 10 hours a day, chances are that you don't have all that time to focus on your health and by training or by cardio. But there are a few different ways in which you can actually put that into your life without changing how much you work. First way is, you see, this is a standing desk, and below the standing desk, I have a walking pad that I'm too lazy right now to show it to you, but trust me, I have a walking pad below my desk. And in this walking pad, you can literally stand up, put the standing desk on the standing mode. You can take the walking pad below your desk, and while you're working, how crazy is this? While you're working, you can just walk while you're working. While you're on your meetings, you can just walk. And just like that, without even leaving your office, without even spending extra time on going outside, getting ready, getting dressed to walk, you literally do that while working. And what this does is that not only it improves your cardio and your heart health so that you live longer, not only it improves your mood, not only you get in better shape because you're able to do a lot more cardio during the day without even leaving your office, but it's also going to increase the blood flow to your brain, because when you're standing and when you're walking, you're increasing blood flow, and more specifically blood flow to the brain. And with that blood that is going to the brain, you have a lot of oxygen and nutrients. And the difference between just a 20-minute walk, you can just Google difference in brain scan activity after 20 minutes of walking. You're going to see the brain scan comparison side to side. It's extremely important and extremely noticeable, the difference in energy and wakefulness and alertness after having just a simple 20-minute walk. And that's going to reflect in your decision making, your mood, your stress management, and your energy. So that's one way in which you can streamline exercise and movement and activity to your life and to your day. But also on top of that, weight training is paramount. So I suggest you start by if you never lifted a weight in your life, or you rarely did, 3 days a week, full body. Doesn't matter the days that you go to the gym for. Maybe it's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Doesn't really matter, as long as it's 3 days a week, full body. Like 45 minutes to an hour session. You hit all body parts, focus on compound movements. It's going to do the job. Your goal should be, if you don't really care about physique that much, just do that for longevity and for mental performance. It's such a game changer. And as a byproduct, you're just going to improve how you look, and you're going to be more confident. You're going to increase your testosterone levels. That's all good, all plus points. The second step to that is, after you've gained strength and 3 days a week is too taxing and too long for you to progress, you transition maximum to 4 days a week, upper, lower, upper, lower. So Monday, you do an upper or a lower session. Tuesday, you do the same upper or lower, the one that you didn't do. Then you rest in between, and you do another repetition of that, and you're set. This is good. This is all you need. 45 minutes to an hour each session. Arguably, you can get it done with just 3 days a week, full body, and there you go. That's all you need to do in terms of strength training to improve your longevity. And you're going to find that, yes, you're spending a little bit more extra time on training than what you are right now. But the actual ROI that you're going to gain back on how you feel, your confidence, your mental clarity, your stress management is going to be such a game changer that you're going to start getting addicted to it. And the sides are this, like the side accomplishments are that you're going to look better, you're going to feel better about your body, and you're going to fix your health. Because as I said, exercise is literally the number one thing, the single thing that once you do, it improves every single biomarker without even changing what you eat. So you can literally go to the gym and look at the weights, and your health will improve without even doing anything else. So those are the ways in which entrepreneurship is making you age faster. And those are the 3 ways in which you can actually reverse that from happening. There's a lot more to it, though. I'm not going to lie. It's not like just those 3 simple things. They are going to be very effective, but it's not all the gist. It's not just about those 3 things. If you feel like you need more help creating a protocol based on where you are right now, based on your blood data, based on things like your gut health, your DNA, your blood, and your specific situation with your business and your life right now. As I told you, I've helped hundreds of founders and executives from companies like Canva, Cash App, Square. I've helped leaders in this industry like Jordan Platten, Nathan Nazareth, Thomas Gannett, Matt Shields optimize all areas of their health so they can operate at their peak capacity, like mental athletes. Because in the game of business, if you're using your brain, which you are using your brain is your business, and you're using your brain to make $1 million decisions every day, solve big problems, lead people and lead the team, and show up to your customers, then how you feel and how you operate is one of the most important things to move the needle forward in your business. So if you need help with that, structuring a protocol that is customized for where you are to optimize your performance mentally and physically, then I can show you exactly the process that I've used with hundreds of my clients. I will leave a link in the description below so that you can actually see how it works. And through that, I can actually customize it for your situation. So you can book a call directly with me from that link in the description to help you put that system into your life so that you can fix your health once and for everything and reverse all the health problems that scaling your business has created.